So welcome to the video, guys, and this week we're doing another queue session with the Holy Pally. Had a really good few good games with this guy, and this week I made a few mistakes that I definitely want to point out to you guys to hopefully make you avoid making those, but also help you learn a couple things you can do against specifically DK classes. We're going to be covering a lot of DKs today and a little bit of Rogue Mage and Rogue Priest, so hope you enjoy. So the first game here, we go up against Fire Mage and Sub Rogue. Now against Mage comps, I usually like to wait out the other Mage and go invis after they do, but I see this Rogue is kind of charging right down the center map, so obviously he's wanting to go for that sap on me to get the solid opener. But my Pally does get him out and stun him and pop wings, and my first mistake was actually made there. I should have been kind of going in with my Pally while he had his cooldowns rolling and just dive the Rogue up to get some free damage or at least a cloak. But now Pally's wings are kind of being wasted and they get a hard opener on him. I do a Blow of Silence on the Mage to get a free poly, and I know he's going to trinket the first one just to stay offensive with Combust, but I ended up missing the juke on the second poly, and he just counterspell me. But right now, the Rogue, he's on the Pally, he's starting to range out his Mage a little bit with that polymorph onto him. I'm just pumping out light damage to get that cloak. I don't want to pop Arcane Power and everything at the start because he's just going to negate it with that one simple spell. So right here I get a blind and poly overlap full duration, so that's pretty much an instant no-brainer. Kind of trinket it. That's going to be the most worth I'm going to get out of my trinket. But I do get a couple polys after that on me. At this point they're kind of going all in on my Pally. He's stuck in a smoke bomb, and my mistake was made here. I should have been popping a massive Viz to help peel for the Pally, trying to go for a poly on the Mage even though he had counterspell, but luckily I had a dot on the Rogue and missiles just chasing him down. So here my instincts are kind of kicking in. I'm thinking back to all those Fire Mage duels I did, thinking how I can win this. Now I figure his counterspell is down, but my mistake here was not casting my artifact on him like out of that cheap. Could have been some really nice free damage, and I actually could have kept up with him in this sense. And it didn't help that I missed my CS earlier on his fireball. So right now I'm kind of in a panic mode. I'm starting to fall behind on damage a lot. His CS is down, but right here he's going to be going for a Dragon Breath on me and doing a Meteor, but at this point I'm so low health, like, yeah, here it is, the Ice Block, just to negate that, but I'm so low health it doesn't really matter, and I could have gone into Mass Invis right out of the Ice Block. That's what I should have done, and I could have gotten a free Mark of Luneth cast on him and potentially gotten enough damage out to kill him. So the second game here is against the Assassination Rogue and Disc Priest, and right off the start I'm noticing this Priest is just kind of charging right in, so we pretty much take advantage of that and just get in combat right away, avoid any sap opener by the Rogue. But at this point I'm just kiting the Rogue out, trying to fish for missile procs, but unfortunately my RNG is pretty bad and I'm not really getting anything out of it. But here I noticed that the Rogue is popping Vendetta on the Pally and just kind of going ham. So I just decided to do a little bit of counter pressure here and get the mark on the Rogue and get the Pally on the Priest and just pop Arcane Power at the end of the detonation and pretty much pump in anything I have here to try and get Cloak. I blink away so the Rogue can stab me so I can get the free poly on the Priest here, but I do get a half blind, and I just decided to sit it since it's only half, and luckily my Pally brings up some follow-up CC on the Priest, and I'm able to trinket the full kidney and just kind of stay offensive. And I noticed there on the ground, from the Priest AoE heal, that the Rogue's positioning was given away, so I could stay on top of him a little bit better there. Here, Rogue's going back in, and I still got plenty of damage to kind of keep him low, and the Priest is, popping his Archangel to try and top him off, and the Rogue ends up kind of retreating at this point. So it's situations like this where you kind of want to take advantage of it to get a full Evocate off when the enemy is kind of back and you really don't have any damage to kill him. So we charge right in here, Pally gets a full stun on the Priest, and I followed up with the Poly, and I figure here this is going to be an easy cloak. But unfortunately the Rogue was right on top of me and I should have gone for the juke there, and he just stops all my damage. But coming out of the CC there, the Priest is trying to top him off, and I'm still keeping him a little bit low. I decided to kick the second Shadowman there. I could have kicked the first one, but I was really worried about the juke. And at this point, put Mark on him as it comes right off cooldown and just kind of go ham on this Rogue. And I figured that'd be Cloak right there, but unfortunately this Rogue, I guess, just thought he'd be safe, or maybe forgot about it completely, but because of that one little mistake there, we were able to land the kill. So the last few games here, guys, are going to be against DK healer teams, just because we did face a lot of them, but I feel like it'll be kind of a good lesson. DKs aren't the most impossible thing to beat, but they are a little bit tough. So right off the bat here, the DK's charging in, and I'm keeping my range so he can't get an easy opener on me, and I decided to chase down the Pally and just try and build up missile stacks. Now right off the start here, I'm just kind of popping some burst on this DK, get some damage rolling while they're stacked up. But my mistake was I polymorphed the Pally about 2 seconds before my Lunith detonated, so the AoE just broke it. And that could have been maybe an easy bubble there, or at least some more cooldowns, because even with that half poly, we were able to get the Pally down to, or the DK down to 20%. So he pops hand a stack on the DK, and right now I'm just trying to cleave them both down, because if I'm hitting the Pally and DK, it's basically double damage onto the Pally. And he gets down here at pretty low health, so I decided to lay into him, polymorph the DK so he can't kick me or get anything. DK could have trinketed there, but I guess he decided not to. He figured his Pally was safe. And right now, DK is trying to peel me off. I try and go for a hard cast Pally to bait the kick so I could evo, but I don't end up getting it. So I chase down the Pally. I watch where my displacement's at because, Arcane mobility, and I just displace back to the sky when he least expects it. And luckily I do get the bubble there, even though I really didn't have any damage left. I had no mana to hardcast an Arcane Blast, and all I had was my orb and maybe a proc if I would have gotten it off of there. So right here they're kind of laying into him again, laying in my healer, so I decided to poly the Pally on his wings and just kind of, I'm Arcane Blasting on this DK just to basically get missile stacks because I don't want to break the poly, but I do want to be doing something there. Pally gets stunned and I do a hard swap onto him. I don't have arcane power, but I just lay down my Lunith and I have 3 missile charges along with Presence of Mind, which is plenty. So I spell steal to free him, and as soon as I see that, I see a divine favor go up. So I spell steal that instantly and kick the Pally, and that is really one situation where you can kind of catch Pallies with your pants down, because most of them aren't going to expect you to dispel their aura mastery and kick them mid cast like that. So we get some really nice pressure on this Pally, and at this point I'm making mistakes. I'm starting to tunnel into this Pally. Like right there I should have been applying the DK mid blink just to peel for my Pally, and he's just barely hanging on. But I'm just tunneling too hard in this Pally and not paying attention, so I do the run on the DK and I do get the poly off, but just barely too late. And my Pally even told me there he's like another quarter second and he would have been topped off and just fine. And due to basically me kind of being a bad partner and not paying attention to when I needed to peel, my Pally healer died. And it could have been easily avoided, as long as I kept the DK off him a little bit better. We could have gone for the kill on the Pally and he would have been low still and basically could have won us the game. But, little mistakes like that, you just gotta pay attention at all times, because one little slip up can kind of screw you over. So in this matchup we're facing up against Mistweaver Monk with the DK. Now in this game I did run a different build. I'm going with the overpowered and time anomaly build, because basically I want to go on the DK here. I figure he's going to kind of keep him as a kill target just because I can't really kill monks. And against DKs, it's all about a game of defensives. Like right there, I pop my Mark of Lunith on the DK and he instantly AMSs it, and he's running the Dispel AMS, so any dots he'll have on him, they're just going to get taken off and the damage isn't really going to be there to help burst through. So basically get AMS out of the way and any magic zone are the 2 big defensives you want to get out of the way. After that point it's going to be kind of an easy kill. So right here I do get a time anomaly proc and I don't even notice it until right there when I just get a random 1 million crit. I'm like, oh okay, I'm actually doing some damage. Unfortunately I wasn't able to really follow it up with much, but for whatever reason I guess this DK felt he was in danger with Pally Wings rolling there and he was sitting at half health for quite a while. And then the monk just overlays his cocoon on top of him. Now, obviously this is bad play on their end, but it just goes to show that once the defenses are out of the way, like as much health as DKs do have, they are killable. But the only problem I'm facing here is any magic shell is coming back up, and at this point I could use my Mark of Lunith to try and make him waste it again, but I really want my mark just for the kill. But luckily I do have a time anomaly proc there, and the DK I guess gets worried because I have a moment to free cast, and so he just pops AMS shell right there and time anomaly proc falls off, and I don't really have any damage from it, but right now I have full missile procs, and this is where we get into it. The DK's kick is just wasted. I followed up with a Poly on the Monk out of that stun, and he doesn't have grip or kick to stop my damage, so I'm pretty much just laying into him, and I see that Mark of Luneth is getting a little close to the Monk there to break the Poly, so I just do a quick Blood Elf silence at the end of it as soon as it makes contact, and just go for that nice sweet kill with 2 Presence of Mind Arcane Blast, and that's pretty much all it takes. So this game here, we're facing up against another DK Pally team, and this is a different team, but I'm running the same set of talents I had before with Overpowered and Time Anomaly. Now here, I'm kind of figuring the same plan. I'm going to keep the DK as the kill target, but off the bat here, I'm noticing this guy has Repentance, and that's going to be a fun thing to deal with later on down the line when a Pally has a spammable CC, but I get the Pally out of the stun here, and I go hard on the DK right off the bat, but my problem was I didn't really have as much mobility to stay on top of him, and right here I lose my missile stacks that I was going to use to just have them chase him down around the pillar, and that just basically loses all my momentum right there. But from here on, we're still getting him pretty low, but the Pally's probably going to recover him pretty easily. I mean, he's still got wings there, and he just pops him right there and tops this guy off with one cast, no problem, and repentances me. And at that point, I'm just frustrated. That was a frustrated Trink more than anything. So I just want to stay in this guy and annoy him as much as I can. So right now, the Pally's wings are starting to drop, so I'm kind of chasing him down a little bit. Just kind of slowing this DK off my Pally and just trying to build some missile stacks back up, and just pretty much waiting for the time where I get a good time anomaly proc. And once again here, I don't know if DKs just like to do this or what, but kind of a wasted AMZ there. Didn't really need it at all. So that's pretty much one major cooldown out of the way, and now we got his AMS coming up in about 15 seconds, and I get a time anomaly proc right here. Now right now I'm just kind of free casting on this guy. I get some free damage out, trying to get even more missile procs, and watching this Pally to see if he creeps out from the box a little bit. I notice he's kind of staying out in the open a little bit there, being kind of risky, so I blink mid his cast and just get the Poly, and that's an easy way to pretty much force the DK's AMS. He probably sees that his Pally's in a polymorph, and he sees me free casting, so that's kind of a sign to him that he's in somewhat danger, but in all honesty, he really wasn't. But they don't need to know how many arcane stacks we have or how much damage we can do. We just need to get the CC out and make it look like we're doing something. So I'm just kind of cleaving both down behind the pillars here, and I decided to back out because my Pally knows he's not going to be pushing in with me, so I don't want to overextend and make him like lose his get in a bad positioning and just save my butt. So put a mark on this guy, pops no arcane power, he's got no AMS, and I'm trying to kill him down, and it gets really close here. But as you can see, the Pally pop his Hand of Sack, and I still had a lot of damage going into that DK, and it all transferred over to the Pally, so I just do a hard swap on him, and we get an easy bubble there. And right now, I'm just trying to keep the pressure up as much as I can, just Arcane Explosion and just priming those missiles. And right now, I just kind of lay him into this Pally here, and he's pretty much the kill target for me right now. He has no bubble, and the DK still has his AMS, so I really don't want to go on the DK for this kill target. Unfortunately, he's kind of pilling me really well here. I get stunned. I end up kind of watching my Pally, see if he does anything, see if I can hold on to my trinket, and he ends up bubbling, so I might have been better off there just trinketing myself and popping wall, but it is what it is at this point. But I'm still trying to chase down this Pally here, but it isn't working out too well for me, and I got full missile stacks that I want to use, so I get some CC on the Pally and just lay those right into the DK here. I'm kind of committing to a target. That's one thing that's kind of hard for me to do. If I got two targets at like 40 or 50% health, it's really hard for me to just polymorph one and heal them to full and commit to one target. But that's kind of the needed situation there. I had to go on at least one of the targets, otherwise they're just gonna both top off easily within a few seconds, which they do anyways here. But yeah, I mean, at this point I retreat back because I'm Moom, I need to evil up, and I see my Pally's getting a little bit low, so I'm playing a little bit more passive. But we get a time anomaly proc here, and I'm just kind of waiting for my main burst, which is coming up in about 10 seconds, and we get this really bad setup on us. My Pally gets stunned, I trinket and Nova thinking I can get away, and that basically cost us the game. Like, I thought a trinket and a Nova was going to be enough, but I should have known that, even with the DK, he's got some ranged spells and could have gotten a dispel anyways. I should have just blocked it and played it safe there, but because I was too greedy, just kind of cost us the game. So always remember that when you're ahead, just play smart and you'll get through it. So that'll be it for this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little queue session I had with another Holy Pally. I definitely enjoy playing with Holy Pallies the most. This priest is another good favorite of mine, but just kind of giving you guys the insides and outs of why I go through each week capping out, and hopefully this can help you guys at whatever your rating you're at. So until next time, this is Sparta out.